두 번째 발표는 제이슨 수가 대만의 암호화폐 전문 국회의원이신데요. 대만의 정부의 시각은 또 어떤지 The State of Taiwan Overview of the Progress of All Things Blockchain이라는 주제로 발표를 준비해 주셨습니다. 제이슨 수 앞으로 모시도록 하겠습니다. Please. 네, 여러분 박수로 환영해 주세요.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Shi. I'm a member of parliament and a legislator from Taiwan, or you can simply call me the crypto congressman. I am a technologist turned legislator. I was the curator for TEDx Taipei for 9 years, and I served as TEDx senior ambassador. Graduated from Singularity University with a study focused on exponential technology, and this year, I launched Asia Blockchain Alliance. In Taiwan's legislature, I champion progressive legislations that bridges the gap between technology, public policy, and humanities. For example, Autonomous Driving Vehicles Act, FinTech Regulatory Sandbox Act, Digital Economy Principle Act, Cybersecurity Management Act, Immigration Reform, and Angel Investment Act, and most notably, Same-Sex Marriage Act. And I'm proud to say Taiwan will become the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage in 2019. And how do I begin to take note of blockchain and cryptocurrency? As someone who comes from a technology world, now working in politics, I'm wearing two hats constantly. The challenges for today's business world is too much concentration. And there's obviously a chilling effect on multinationals. We've all seen all your data, your cell phone, your computer, your network is not owned by you, it's not owned by your government, it's owned by the company that creates social media platform, that creates services and platform that you use. Like you have no idea when you sign in that they own your data. And the fact is, we are producing the amount of data that is far more unthinkable than the data that we produced 20 years ago when we don't have a smartphone. And these 7 companies collectively own 99% of all of our data. Now, if you don't think that's a problem, then we are headed to a very, very bad situation. And in public sector, the situation we face is there is a lack of transparency. There's a lack of accountability among the politicians, the policymakers, and the government leaders. And also, there's uncertainty over regulatory regimes. For nascent technology like blockchain and cryptocurrency, regulators are scratching our heads, not knowing how to regulate the technology and also creating a healthy industry. And number 3, technology is outpacing the legislation. You see, technology grows exponentially, but our human behavior, our organizational behavior are linear. So here's a gap. Technology grows like this, but our organizational unit is like this, like flat. So there is always a big gap. And also, ignorant legislation will stifle innovation. And also, there's a thing about the digital sovereignty at the very age of the decentralized economy, decentralized technology. We talk about blockchain, and the very nature of this decentralized ledger is able to facilitate transparency, accountability, and promotes participation in a democratic system. Also, this decentralization makes sure that the power and resources are not controlled by a few. And the way that the technology is designed is to get rid of intermediaries, or in other words, middlemen. If you think about the way our social economic system is structured, so much of today's profit is squeezed out of the middleman system or brokers. We need banks to validate the transaction. We need lawyers, we need accountants to validate certain contracts. And certain ways this middleman, these intermediaries exist in today's world, and which is making the world less likely to transform. And also, today's business world is structured so hierarchical that for every single kid, it's difficult to excel and also to unlock their own potential. But blockchain will enable all of this to happen, and I'll explain to you why. Today, 2018, happened to be the 10th anniversary of Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. The impact of a decentralized electronic cash system, a peer-to-peer decentralized electronic system, has a great, great value. As of 2017, Bitcoin's market cap is over $100 billion. However, this is not just the number value that is reflected here. I believe the creation of Bitcoin has dramatically altered we perceive money in modern age. It has offered the current untrustworthy banking system a way to get rid of the middleman, a way to get rid of the intermediary. And it offers a fast and trustable way for those unbankable in a developing world. But we need to think about it. Today, the 10th anniversary of Satoshi's white paper, are we really living up to its expectation? Do we, or will we ever? I began to notice the trend of blockchain and cryptocurrency come in September 4th, 2017, when China issued a ban on ICO. And following that ban, Korea also ordered a ban on ICO during that same month. I had held an open and public hearing with our Prime Minister, and public asked for a light touch regulation on the cryptocurrency and blockchain. And since then, I'm making my mission to turn Taiwan into a blockchain island and crypto nation, and also turn Taiwan into a fintech hub. How do I do this? I believe as a technologist turned legislator, lawmakers must evolve as technology evolves. So I learn from the best of the industries. I become friends with guys like Vitalik, who's been my advisor on the regulatory suggestions. And I interact with the industry leaders like Charlie Lee, creator of Litecoin, and Binance CEO Zhang CZ, to understand what is the industry thinking and how would government help support a healthy growth of the industry and make sure that legislation don't kill the industry. And why Taiwan? There are several aspects to the nature of this technology and why Taiwan would be an ideal place and why Taiwan would be a good place to collaborate with a country like Korea. Number one is Taiwan, as you know, is a unique state. We are recognized by the world, but again, we are not recognized by the UN. We call ourselves Republic of China, Taiwan, but then now I like to call Taiwan Republic of Cryptocurrency. And the very nature of the ambiguous state of the cryptocurrency is the same state that Taiwan is facing. Number two, Taiwan for a long time has had a very solid software and hardware industry integration, from semiconductor to RAM to GPU and to chip design and everything. I believe our next phase for blockchain and cryptocurrency is to define the real use case for the technology. Number three, political and social economic situation. I believe in a country that is the size of Taiwan, 23 million, or the size of South Korea, about 60 million, is the right size to prototype a new way of decentralized economy. Flexible regulatory environment, I'll talk a little bit about that, how we intend to facilitate a healthy growth of the industry. Foreign policy aspect, I don't know if you read the news yesterday. Unfortunately, Taiwan has lost another diplomatic ally. But I believe in a decentralized world, we can use blockchain and cryptocurrency to make friends with people around the world. And I'll tell you why. And lastly, great engineering talent of Taiwan. Taiwan for a long time has produced some of the most capable engineers around the world. Silicon Valley has a lot of Taiwanese entrepreneurs, and I'm helping a lot of Korean companies to expand to Taiwan with the great resources of our engineering talents. The current state of blockchain and crypto in Taiwan. Number one, we employ a light touch regulation. ICOs are allowed as long as it's not a security token. And we line up parliamentary support on both aisles to support the growth of the industry and to make sure, number one, consumers' data is protected and robust KYC is established. Number three, we are driving extensively into the resources of creating real blockchain applications. How do we use blockchain in real life? For example, on your medical data, on your voting system, on transportation system, and on your financial system. So very, very simple. We want to enable this to happen. And it is with this mindset that the industries can learn, and then the government can learn with the industry together. As a parliamentarian, as a legislator, and a technology entrepreneur, I do two things within a system to help facilitate the communication between the crypto world and the governmental world. One is I create a Taiwan Parliamentary Coalition for Blockchain. And this is for the entire legislative body to get behind the industry, to reduce the friction between the communication cost between the government and the industry, and to make sure that no legislation is created to stifle the industry. And number two, I set up a blockchain self-regulatory organization, which about 100 companies now register within this SRO. SRO act as a self-regulating body. We meet with the government authorities once a month to discuss the latest update on the regulation and the suggestions for the policies and the government regulations. What we must do as a country and as a society, as an economy, to promote such an important new trends. Number one is create an innovative regulatory framework. It is important that we work together to make sure that regulatory is also innovative. We don't just need the technology innovation, but more than ever, we need the regulatory innovation. Number two, develop an all-around policy to implement blockchain across different sectors. Now, there's too much speculation, too much scams that is happening in this space. People talking about the price of the crypto more than the actual execution of the projects. That's what I worried. So I believe, as a government leader, we must enable more blockchain applications to create real-life use cases so that people won't be spending time trying to make money or profiting from the crypto prices only. Number three, cultivate talent and attract international skilled workers and immigrants. The talent for blockchain technology engineers is so rare that in Silicon Valley, if you are a blockchain engineer, your salary can up to $200,000 per year. But I want to ask, in a country like South Korea and Taiwan, are we doing enough to produce in our educational system blockchain experts, blockchain educators, blockchain engineers? Obviously, we are not. This is something that we must pay attention to. Number three, set up blockchain special economic zones. Now, I talk about the decentralized economy. It will be difficult to replace the existing centralized economy. But what we could do is we could create an experimentation zone that would facilitate all use cases of blockchain usage. And then, most importantly, as we go further, very, very strong KYC and AML practice. We must ensure that the money that is going on in this space is transmitted in a fair and open and a safe way. Otherwise, it will be used by bad actors. And then bad actors will drive out good actors, and it will be a disaster for this industry. The way I envision blockchain applications are manifold. I wrote a paper about 2 months ago that details 16 areas that I like to see blockchain be implemented. Going from digital rights to escrow, private market equity, IoT, food safety, medical data, fractional digital assets, and all sorts of things. I believe this is the areas that is worth discovering. People paying too much attention on the price of the cryptocurrency, but not enough attention in how to use the technology to revolutionize the way we live. And this is very important. Some bold ideas. One of the things that I am working on and as a policymaker is to create a digital ID. We are now studying the technology to issue a Taiwan global digital ID. So instead of you becoming a paper citizen, you become a digital citizen for Taiwan. Anyone can register as a digital citizen to make business, to investment, to hire, and then to engage with Taiwan business world. And that would also cover with the strong elementation of the immigration policy. Number two, we are now experimenting the idea of creating a central bank-backed digital currency. That is not used for retail banking, but used for trade finance. We're using a portion of our foreign reserve, use it in the digital currency to facilitate cross-border trading and to make sure that our trade finance is done smoothly and fastly and securely on blockchain. And I encourage all of you to think about how the technology will help your country to transform. National digital currency, that's what I talk about. Make Taiwan a crypto nation and blockchain hub. And there's several ways to go about this. And number one is obviously to deregulate and to make sure the industry and the companies and the government work together. And today, for the first time in Asia, I am announcing the new Taipei city are creating a blockchain special economic zone. This boasts a 12,000 square meters space that would allow entrepreneurs and blockchain-enabled retail experiences to be introduced there. And we'll also introduce international accelerators. Here I call for Korean companies, startups, accelerators to come and engage with our partners in this special economic zone. And we also anticipate a huge amount of investment into this special economic zone. This will be due to open in November 2018. So this is an invitation to all of you to come and participate in this special project. And this afternoon, I will be signing a MOU with Korean partners to co-develop this project. So this is something really, really exciting. Lastly, I wanna leave you with this idea. I recently did a fireside chat with my good friend Vitalik, who's kind of become my personal advisor on the blockchain and crypto. This is what I said, basically. It's important to think that the driving force behind the cryptocurrency shouldn't just be money seeking, but rather we should think how blockchain technology will bring about a fundamental shift in the way the trust system is built. That's essentially something that I'm so fixated on, and I believe it's worth a lot of efforts going into. And now I've traveled around the world. I meet a lot of leaders and a lot of great experts in this area, and I feel a lot of them thinking in the same wavelength. So today, for the first time in history, I am launching One Crypto World token. This is a badge of support of the innovative cryptocurrency policy that I am championing. and this is enable you to do what I call a proof of support on blockchain. Now, this is issued only 1,000 tokens. No value, but it's invaluable because the support that you gain to me as a policymaker to continue, advance, and then change the landscape and then create positive impact is priceless. So today, I am bringing a few to this group of audience, and I'd like to build the first alliance with my Korean community counterparts. This is called proof of support, and this is a real token with a private key. So some of you are taking the photo. Maybe you want to scan the QR code. Very rare. With that, I end my, my talk, but I just wanted to share with you 30 years ago when Tim Berners-Lee created World Wide Web, he was envisioning an open, fair, just place for information sharing. But 30 years later, Internet now is a place where 7 big players controlled our data, our privacy. Blockchain is giving us a second chance to get it right. So if we all work together, we can make the second coming, and we can make the Internet right. And let's work together to create one crypto world. Thank you very much.